I became involved with the J when I was 9 years old. I went to Barney Goodman Camp. I stayed at camp all throughout my middle school years, and I was even a counselor in training. But I don't think that's really what people say when they got involved with the J. When Eric and I got married, there was an organization called YAD, which was for young couples, and it was my first introduction to getting to know the Jewish community. I loved that. Then when my kids were at CDC, I was very involved volunteering with the teachers and the classes. But then my real involvement with the J at the 100 More celebration. Prior to that, most of my volunteer experience was at the Federation. And I was asked to be one of the co-chairs for the 100 More celebration. The 100 More celebration was a incredible experience. It was a year-long celebration of the 100-year anniversary of the J. It kicked off with a relay that was from downtown, close to where the J started, to the current campus at 115th and Knoll. It was filled with events throughout the entire year focused on the number 100. One of my favorite ones was the CDC kids laid down on the ground and made a number 100. And they had a drone and took a picture of it from above so that you could see it. Every single department found some way to commemorate 100. It really was 100 more. And it was community creativity and staff coming together to celebrate. And then our very last event was really a lot of fun. We tried to get 1,000 people to spin a dreidel at the same time, and we had go-to-meeting. All over the country, people were celebrating with us, spinning their dreidels at the same time. We were able to get people from Village Shalom to participate, and we had the gym filled with people and kids and families, and we gave out special commemorative dreidels that people got to keep, and the energy was just something spectacular. I remember the time of the dreidel spinning, I stood up on a chair and talked to everybody. It was a great way to culminate the entire year of celebrations. My next involvement at the J was I was asked to be on the board, and I had 1 year where I was just on the board, but then the next year after that, they asked me to be one of the vice presidents. And during that time, that's when I was also on the Superstar committee. And I was chair of Superstar. Eric and I were both co-chairs of Superstar. And I was very involved at that point. And then they asked me to, if I'd be interested, if I'd be in chair. And as first vice president, that's when Jim and I and our committee worked on developing the values. And when I look back on my experience with the J, it's one of the things that I'm the most proud of. Jim and I worked together with a spectacular committee to come up with the values that if you've been to the campus, you see them everywhere. And not only am I proud that we codified those values, but we also codified the concept that we live the values at the J. They're not just up on the wall. And the staff just did a spectacular job of figuring out ways to incorporate those values into everything they do. I mean, I just love when I read the program for the theater shows, they would talk about ways to tie them back to the values. Then I became chair.